Hello and welcome to another GiveSafely crypto, blockchain, and philanthropy conversation. Today we'll tap into blockchain and tech entrepreneur Paul Busch's expertise from Bitswift to discuss the opportunities and challenges that crypto and blockchain bring to businesses, charities, and donors. So with that intro, I'm excited to introduce our guest, Paul Busch. As I mentioned, Paul is a blockchain and technology entrepreneur. He's the founder and CEO of Bitswift Technology Solutions, which is also a BBB accredited business. He recently joined GiveSafely as an advisor and an expert volunteer. And right now, GiveSafely, our tech is currently backed by Bitswift's network. So welcome and thank you for being here today, Paul.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks for inviting me and having me here. Appreciate it.
I wanted to start with some kind of quick fire type questions. Things that you hear out there and that you might have some good answers to. The first question, I guess, would be, over the past year, we've heard some not so great news about crypto and prices have dropped. Do you think crypto, blockchain, and crypto philanthropy by extension are on their way out, or is that just a bump in the road?
Crypto is, in my mind anyway, definitely not on the way out. It's on the way in. And on the way in with anything, there's bumps along the road, especially with new things. There's learning curves and technical hurdles and regulations and stuff like that. Long term, I don't see crypto blockchain disappearing. Like, yes, you're going to have these parts of crypto and parts of blockchain that disappear, like bankrupt companies and blockchains that don't take off, and maybe some meme coins type of chains that just kind of fizzle out, become nothing. But long term, I think it's definitely here to stay. Like, if you look at the big players, even PayPal now, I think they're building on Ethereum. So when you get like that level game going on, it's not just going to disappear. Like, to me, that's equivalent of saying like soccer won't be a thing in the future, like football won't be a thing in the future, right? Like, their games are set, the rules are set, and they're playing. In this game, it won't stop. And another way to look at it is like, cell phones will be a thing of the past tomorrow. Well, the actual device itself and the way it looks and feels might change, but the fact that like we're all interconnected on this like cellular network now, and using the internet and having these devices, whether it's like a glasses or a handheld like iPad or whatever, like that's here to stay. So yeah, long answer short, it's not going anywhere. People are building on it, and it should only get better.
Next, quick fire question. Crypto and blockchain are, intriguing but often confusing concepts. Sometimes when I talk to people about them, their eyes just kind of glaze over. But big picture, do you think these technologies are relevant to businesses, charities, and donors? Should charities, businesses, donors care about these technologies?
Yeah, definitely, because the blockchain can be used for many things, right? So like a lot of people look at it, they just think like Bitcoin or Ethereum and like money value, right? But the blockchain itself is like any blockchain, a public blockchain anyway, is a distributed ledger, so it can hold much more than just money. It can be used for like just regular data and stuff as well, right? Like NFTs, people are publishing like pictures into a blockchain and securing them there and providing ownership. Now, mind you, NFTs also may hold value, but they may not, right? So businesses can leverage that immutable ledger to publish information to ensure maybe their data doesn't become corrupt, or to ensure that whoever the data belongs to, it remains in their control, things like that. For charities specifically, like there's benefits of obviously attaching yourself to a new economy or a new economic system, which is what I feel like crypto kind of really is, and will evolve into, essentially providing this new, what they call the token economy, which is already out there and you can participate in. It's just a lot of people aren't familiar with it or not educated on it, and maybe a little shy or scared of it, so they don't bother participating. but clearly there's obviously benefits in participating with blockchain tech, and just focusing on the value itself, like within crypto, if you want to call it that. Like if you're a nonprofit charity trying to raise money, well, you probably want to attach yourself to that value flow just so that you have those options.
Next question. Could you share 3 ways blockchain and crypto could help businesses, charities, and donors today?
Yeah, for sure. Number one, I guess, like, look at the blockchain in general. Like, what does it do? So, like, provides trust, transparency, can be used for privacy, immutability. So, like, all these inherent benefits of the blockchain can also benefit charities and businesses, right? So, for example, if you're a charity and you launch your app to raise donations on a blockchain, well, you're again tying into this new economic system where you can raise money. But you can also go a step further and benefit your users by ensuring their information is private. So that, let's say, if a government comes down and starts banning anybody who donates to a cause, well, you're not exposed to that. Maybe your bank account is shut down because you believed in a cause and you donated to it, and the government didn't agree with that, so they literally came and shut your bank account down, which is actually something that happened here recently. But the blockchain can protect against those types of things if implemented properly. So I think trust, having that trust, transparency, and privacy features go a long way, especially for like donations. People want to ensure that they can trust in whatever it is they're donating in, and that in fact, like, their money actually goes to whatever cause that they believe in. And likewise for like just a regular business, as I mentioned before, they could benefit just by exploring the chain, using it as like a database, like a permanent database, so that whatever information they have is not only in direct control of their users, so the user is now responsible for their own data, but it's also secure and private, and then 100% available all the time. So if you publish something to a public blockchain, it's not like going to go away or turn off, you know. So I'm actually like worried about there's a lot of I shouldn't say I'm worried. There's a lot of new regulations in Canada about like blocking news and stuff. So like I'm like thinking like in the future, like what if all the news is on a public blockchain? Like how are you going to block it? Like you can't turn it off, and you can't tell anybody specifically to say to turn it off or to block it. It'll be impossible. So like these things exist, I think, to help protect people, and to ensure like the word can get along, or the word can get out there, right? Basically to ensure things cannot be tampered with and become immutable. So you look at all the benefits of the blockchain. If you build an app on the chain, your app will inherit by default those benefits.
So Paul, we're lucky to have you helping us as an advisor and expert volunteer with GiveSafely. What parts of the platform or program really match up with your ideas and ideals and get you excited as a blockchain and tech entrepreneur?
Yeah, so for sure the privacy aspects kind of align with me. So for example, like I don't want to donate to some cause I believe in, where it may expose me to risk in the future, whether that be by government or anything else, even family and friends, right? And obviously the fact that it can help even our own customers. Like as a tech company, we have nonprofits as customers, so I can see how they could use this platform to tap into this new economic system to help them, raise funds for their own purpose, because they're not like, a traditional business trying to sell a product or a service. They need to reach out to the community in many cases because even government funding is not adequate. So they're reaching out to the community asking like, hey, can you guys donate for this or that? We got to provide meals for the community, or we need to build this new center so that people can have activities for the elderly here, or whatever it might be, right? So like those things are really, I guess, fall in alignment. Like I believe in obviously helping community, and obviously in my beliefs, I think it's better to do so like internal within your community than trying to seek like external support, like from the government, like getting CERB and like benefits they got to pay back and loans and like things like that that eventually lead to bankruptcy. Um, so the platform really aligns the fact that like you have people donating to causes that they believe in, and not only that, but doing it in a manner where it keeps the donor information private if they so choose to donate that way.
And our final kind of rapid fire question for you is, what are some developments in crypto and blockchain that you're looking forward to or excited about for the future? Any ways that crypto and blockchain might help charities and donors, looking, far out into the future?
I think crypto and blockchain will likely get integrated into pretty much everything, like just how they are now with like payments and PayPal. Like you're gonna see, actually, the regular consumer won't see it happening in the background, but there's gonna be all these transactions and data happening over all of these public blockchains that are being used. Like the technology is being used in the background that's just oblivious to the consumer, right? So yeah, I am excited for like wearable tech coming out, blockchain being integrated into that. Like Facebook just announced their new glasses. I forget the name of the Meta glass or whatever.
Yeah.
I think wearable tech is going to be a huge thing, not just glasses, but shirts and pants and contact lenses, everything, right? But I'm also excited about like VR and AR. And I do see like there's obviously a huge fit for blockchain there, like digital objects, like proof of ownership of digital items, like that has to be in that realm, I think. And so I think we'll see like a lot of the newer games coming out. Like I think even the next Grand Theft Auto probably will have some like blockchain aspect to it where like people are maybe making like real money by using their in-game credits and like really trading on a blockchain, probably trading properties, probably like owning their property in the game, but like in real life. Like just like we see in some of these other like metaverse type stuff where people own their digital land, right? Yeah, so like for me, it just gets integrated into everything, wearables, AR, VR, and like that's where everything is going, digital, autonomous. And another big thing would be like authentication. So having the blockchain like authenticate like who's who or what's what, like in Star Trek where they just like walk up to a door and it just opens and closes
Hmm. Yeah.
because like it's authenticated the guy and it's like, oh yeah, okay, you're allowed, and then shut the door, right? Just I don't know, day-to-day life I think will be on chain. I think you'll go to a grocery store, you'll fill up your cart and you'll walk out and you'll ding your crypto wallet on the way out, and all the objects will be somehow accounted for on a blockchain. And so the store will automatically know to like reorder milk because it's low, it knows it's low on milk, and like all of that's like tracked on a distributed ledger that's immutable and can't be tampered with. Like why would you have it any other way, right? Like why would you have it centralized and hackable and exposed to all these risks? Like it doesn't make any sense. So for me, it's all going to go that route. It's all going to go digital, and blockchain tech is part of that. And charities and regular businesses will benefit from that if they attach to it properly. The keyword is properly, because many people attach. I find the crypto economy improperly. So they'll rely on custodians, and they'll give up their personal information, and they'll rely on third party, which I feel is like the exact opposite of what this whole thing is supposed to be used for, right? It's like we're not supposed to fall back into the hands we're trying to get away from it, which should create new and run in that direction.
Great. I couldn't agree more. So thanks for sharing the answers to those kind of rapid fire questions. Now let's dig a little bit deeper. So first of all, how did you, as a person, get interested in blockchain? You know, what's the story of you kind of coming to it and getting into it?
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it was way back when. So I'm a techie, so naturally I'm reading about tech articles. There was an article about people using this new money called
Hmm.
Bitcoin to sell like illegal stuff on the internet.
Right.
And I was like, what the hell? Like, what are they using? Um, like I heard about people using like bottles of Tide to track value, like literal like cleaning substance, but not like digital currency, right?
Yeah.
So through that, I really got like researching Bitcoin.
Do you remember more or
Mainly,
less what year it was around?
um, earlier than I'd like to admit. So I think Bitcoins were like, I don't know, like $4,
Oh wow, yeah.
maybe even a little cheaper than that. Yeah,
Hmm.
so it was pretty early. I mean, we officially launched our own blockchain in 2014. So
Hmm.
like it was earlier than that, right? To give you an exact year, I wouldn't be able to.
Sure.
Basically, what happened was I fell in love with Bitcoin and just the blockchain in general. Like you
Hmm.
had this money that could be sent between people that didn't require like a bank,
Yeah.
and that couldn't really be like turned off or
Mm.
controlled. And that to me, like I don't know, like just hit home. I'm like that's really super cool, right? So like I just started researching more and more about it and like learning more and more about it. I guess I became like a Bitcoin kind of junkie, like, trading it, hoarding it, stuff like that, right? And that's kind of how our tech company got into crypto is we had like a lot of our customers asking about like, oh, like what wallet should we use? Or like where do we hold this stuff? Or like how does it work? Like things like that, right? Um, yeah. So things just took off in that direction as more interest came into Bitcoin and crypto. It just kind of naturally grew, and so did my own interest in it to the point where obviously I launched my own company, kind of like
Hmm.
associated with it. Yeah,
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about Bitswift Technology Solutions. It seems like you have kind of the tech side and the Bitcoin, or sorry, the blockchain side as well. Tell us how it came about and kind of what the what the company does. You know, what are your goals with it?
sure. Yeah. Yeah, believe it or not, the Bitswift blockchain existed before any Bitswift company.
Oh wow.
Um, so back in 2014, we had like our own proof of stake blockchain with our own stakers on it, minting Bitswift tokens way back when.
Wow.
Um, but I knew that like to integrate this properly, you would need like some kind of formal like business presence, or I felt that anyway. Like for the average user, this wasn't just going to come by default to them. Like they're going to need some assistance or like hand holding. Um, and that's ultimately why I launched a tech company was to
Hmm.
try to integrate our blockchain tech into business. It just so happens that the tech company took off in of itself, being its own tech company, providing tech support for like general stuff, not just
Hmm.
blockchain, but like servers and like managed services and like Office 365 licensing and like Google for business stuff and like, web hosting. So we've really kind of expanded on our offerings over time. But yeah, it really started off as we had this blockchain. I was like, well, how do we get it into business? Okay, who's going to integrate blockchain tech? Well, it's to integrate it properly. It'd probably be a tech company. It's
Right.
blockchain technology. It probably, in my mind, won't be like a finance company because, well, back then they actually knew nothing about blockchain or crypto. In fact, they were calling it a scam or a fad or whatever
Hmm.
they were calling it back then. But I was like, well, I got all these, people that are interested in it, so they
Right.
need some way to attach to it. So like, why don't we do it through this business, right? And so that's when I formally registered the Bitswift Tech Company. I think in 2017. So number of years went by before I like registered it legally
Hmm.
and then formally applied for the trademark and stuff like that, which took a while to get through because we had some legal issues that way as well. But yeah, it just evolved to like this bigger tech company providing support for other businesses, other nonprofits.
Hmm.
So we provide like a lot of managed services now. So like basically we become your IT department. If you're a company out there, you know, if you're a fast food company or a coffee shop or a hotel or a motel or a nonprofit or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you just hands off, give us all the responsibility to manage your tech, and then we do it. We install your servers, we install your access points, we set up your
Mm-hmm.
network, we put in your point of sale terminal. We'll be the ones to say, here's the blockchain payment terminal and here's how to use it.
Mm-hmm.
We're not quite there yet, but a tech company will do that. um, Hopefully it's our tech company, because you know we kind of put that on our
Right.
own roadmap to accomplish. But it'll happen, I think, first through our own tech customers who already are trusting us, who are already using us,
Mm-hmm.
who already are saying like, hey, you know, what server should we put in? What access point should we put in? Well,
Mm-hmm.
time will come where they're like, what crypto payment processor should we use? What
Mm-hmm.
hardware wallet should we use? I mean, we're
Mm-hmm.
already being asked these questions. These aren't questions for banks. Banks hold your money for you, and they may even lose your money for you. They're not good at using distributed ledgers for
Right.
like writing apps for people on public blockchain. They're not even good at holding crypto assets on behalf of other people, because you see these banks tied in with these big exchanges that really go bankrupt, and
Mm-hmm.
I've seen it time and time and time again, right? So like the whole industry isn't, in my mind, it was never built for that, but yet somehow that has imposed itself on this industry and created regulations now around this industry that we're all having to kind of deal with and navigate.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I'm still dead set on integrating it properly and as I
Right.
imagine it to be, and that is peer to peer, and then at no risk to the user if
Yeah.
integrated properly.
And it sounds like, you know, from this conversation and the way we've talked about in the past, it's like it sounds like with Bitswift, a lot of it is about those relationships that you have kind of with the companies and the nonprofits, you know, around the tech stack, and then, you know, slowly it will become, you know, around more blockchain stuff. I guess
Yeah,
nowadays, what sort of questions do, you know, nonprofits and businesses ask you about crypto and blockchain? Kind of like, you know, I'm sure, you know, X number of years ago, there weren't that many questions. Maybe last year there were more than this year, but, you know, what are people curious about? Like, you know, how do they think about it in reference to their own kind of businesses and charities?
I think for nonprofits, it's a matter of like how can they use it to raise funding.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really, I don't get too many questions about using it any other way.
Yeah.
But again, it's like a matter of, okay, well, who will integrate that into your website so that you can raise the money? Well, probably a
Mm-hmm.
tech company, not a big financial institution, you know? So yeah, there's definitely the tech companies will integrate this, but the businesses as well, like they're coming to us as you're well aware at looking into like how can we build apps on this, how can
Mm-hmm.
we use it to store data, how can we use it to ensure that our customer data remains protected and secure and in their own control. You know, how can we use it to build trust between our customers and our business or organization, because blockchain
Mm-hmm.
is all about trust, right? So I find from like general business, it's more like app based. Mind you, we do get businesses, even like butcher shops, that are like, hey, how do I accept Bitcoin at my butcher shop? You know, and it's like, okay, well, we have all these different wallets and payment processors. Which one do you want to be hooked up with, or which one suits your needs best, right?
Right on.
Um, yeah. So one I'd say nonprofit is more about how do we make money, or how do we raise
Uh-huh.
money? So not about making money, it's about raising money for their cause. And then business is like more so like, okay, yeah, the money part, but also, hey, what else can we use it for? Like data storage? Can we use it for like online ordering? Can we use
Mm-hmm.
it for tracking people, you know, or tracking where people have been or where objects have been or stuff like that?
So it sounds like Bitswift kind of fulfills a role of a guide in helping, you know, the businesses and nonprofits that you work with to, get into the world of blockchain kind of at the pace that they want to get into it at. What do you think are some of the qualities that are needed, for example, for charities who are out there, looking to get into blockchain or crypto donations, or businesses looking into kind of building it into their stack? What should they look for in a guide that helps them get into it?
I think they should definitely do their research and find somebody reputable that has maybe been in the scene for a while. Like, let's face it, there's a lot of hacks and shady people in the blockchain space. I mean, there are in any space you go into in any sector, but fact is we're dealing with like digital assets here that are worth value. So there's a lot of malicious actors.
Mm-hmm.
So you wouldn't want to be dealing with the wrong company or wrong person. Don't get me wrong, there's many good companies out there. It's not just ours, but we have been in the space for a while. We have a tech company that that is designed and set up to assist people connect to this new economy properly, to the technology properly, and offer some guidance to ensure it's integrated properly. Because yeah, like, you can integrate the tech, but that's one thing. The second thing is integrating it properly, so that it's not used against you, so it's used
Mm-hmm.
to benefit, right? You can use anything in the wrong way and end up in a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, and I guess to that point, you mentioned, all the shady people and scammers out there. What are some things that businesses and charities should be kind of aware of, or, be vigilant about as they're kind of dipping their toe into the blockchain world and crypto world?
Number one thing I would say, they should be aware of centralized actors. So we've seen it time and time again. I can't count how many centralized exchanges in Canada have disappeared.
Mm,
And the reason I mention this is, number one, is I receive calls all the time from customers saying, Paul, what can I do? And it's another exchange that got hacked and all their funds are gone. All their crypto's gone. And my answer is, well, unfortunately, I can't do anything. I told you in the beginning what you
mm,
should do. But, if you didn't follow that advice, I can't help you now. Like, there's no recourse, right? And I guess that's what, like, many people coming in maybe fail to understand. In a traditional scenario, like if you get gypped off at Walmart, you can go back into Walmart and talk to a manager and get your
right.
money back. Or if you make a false PayPal transaction or whatever, you can
Mm-hmm.
open a support request and get a refund.
Reverse.
You know, even if you get hacked and your bank account goes dry of like $10,000, you can walk into the bank and say, I didn't do it. And they'll
Mm-hmm.
credit your account back the $10,000. I've had that happen to numerous elderly people that we work with as customers, where unfortunately they get hacked, and that's why we're coming in the mix to sort things out for them, and their bank just like magically credits them back.
Mm-hmm.
um, so these types of like fail safes don't really exist in crypto. Like, you're responsible, so like you make the wrong move, you could be out significantly. And it may not be a direct wrong move that you're making. It could be a passive wrong move where, like, you're thinking, oh, I'm going to save everything on this exchange because everybody else is and it's safe
Mm.
there. And then next week you're calling me going, what can we do? And my answer is, well, nothing at this point. You're
No.
at the hands of the authorities, and you're at the pace of them,
Mm-hmm.
and you're honestly, all is probably lost and gone. Like, to be lucky if you get anything back, right? So that would be my number one, is like, be careful, know who you're dealing with. Don't trust centralized actors. I wouldn't trust anybody that says, I'm going to hold on to this for you.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the way it's designed. It's not meant to work that way. It's calling for an eventual problem.
So Paul, GiveSafely is currently running on the Bitswift blockchain, backed by your network. what does that mean for donors and charities in terms of, privacy and security or engagement?
Yeah, totally. So it means GiveSafely is now has that avenue into the crypto economy, so people can obviously provide value through our blockchain into GiveSafely, where that can be used towards causes or whatever donors might believe in. It also ensures that people donating can, I guess, earn some rewards through this platform. Those rewards are tracked on our blockchain. So who owns these rewards? Essentially, our blockchain is being used as a unit of account for giving points. These giving
Mm-hmm.
points are given to donors based on how much information they're providing. And also that information they're providing, whether they provide it or not, that would be a choice up to the donor, but any information they provide is secured and encrypted on our chain as well. So GiveSafely is being used as the app on our chain to publish that information into our chain where it's secured and encrypted. So yeah, in many ways, it's providing like privacy for donor information, but also preserving that information indefinitely. It's relieving GiveSafely from needing to maintain their own database for
Yep.
like giving points or stuff like that. So you don't have to worry about potentially your database being hacked and these points randomly going to whomever or
Mm-hmm.
potentially disappearing at all. Then it's also opening up all the charities to the token economy so that they can snap in and receive donations in cryptocurrency, whether it be Bitcoin or Ethereum. And I don't think your platform is not just cryptocurrency; it's also like PayPal as well. You
Yep.
can accept, right? So they can use this platform, which kind of appeals to like the younger audiences and those people that are kind of into crypto. To obviously be able to use it as a mechanism to donate in a
Mm-hmm.
private manner, which I believe is in this day and age, donating privately in a manner that's trusted, so that your money's actually getting to
Mm-hmm.
whomever is like key. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of times I don't donate when asked
Mm.
outside of GiveSafely. Like let's say at like it could be McDonald's or not that I drink excessively, but like at the here we have like LCBO, right? It's like where you buy your liquor here in Ontario. And every time you go through the checkout, they'll say, "Oh, do you want to donate to this or that?" Right?
Mm.
But like you never know where your money's going. You really don't. Like where does it end up? And that to me really plays a lot. Not only that, when you donate that through that mechanism, you're using your credit card, and that's tied to your name and your
Mm-hmm.
address and actually all your financial details, including what type of alcohol or uh, coffee you might have bought that day is
Mm-hmm.
also part of that transaction, right? So GiveSafely kind of really allows you to separate that information, allows the donor to remain private. It could
Yeah.
mean a lot because it could mean that potentially a business's account isn't drained dry by a government that didn't believe in that cause. That happened very recently here in Canada. And,
Mm-hmm.
I seen it. I witnessed it happen in front of my own eyes. And whether you believe in that cause or not, the people donating privately to that cause shouldn't have like recourse, like where they're gone bankrupt and out of business because they donated to something they believe in. Like
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's freaking, excuse my language, that's crazy. You
Yeah.
know that could happen. So yeah, it just really protects the donors, provides the privacy, provides the trust, provides these even like incentive of rewards and points and like all that's on the blockchain. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, that's super cool, and that's the way it should be.
Yeah, we're definitely excited about it that, we can kind of set the stage for charities and donors to relate to each other directly so that their data flows between the donor and the charity directly, that it never ends up in our central database that, could be hacked or, subpoenaed or anything like that because, hey, it's on the blockchain. We couldn't access it even if we wanted to. So,
Yeah.
so yeah, we're definitely excited about
It's
everything
on the
that you said.
blockchain encrypted, right? So like it's accessible there, but nobody obviously could ever read it. If they could, we'd have much larger
Yeah.
issues at hand. Like the Department of Defense would probably be worried.
If that
Banks would
encryption gets
definitely be
broken,
worried and
yeah.
stuff like that. So yeah, in that manner, the user is in direct control of their data, and really that's a lot of the point I feel behind these distributed public ledgers or public blockchains.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We've covered a lot of topics. Is there any other, blockchain related thoughts or ideas that you have that maybe charities, donors, or businesses should be thinking about kind of as they're considering getting into blockchain and crypto?
Yeah, again, they should definitely consider, using somebody trusted to get them into it. If they can't do it themselves, they should attach to a trusted tech company who can integrate them properly. Somebody who would, explain things and ensure that they're remaining in control in the end, that their data and value is safe and protected. I think if you're a business starting up, you should definitely explore how to accept these different types of tokens, especially the ones that are worth value, um, as a form of value exchange for your business. So if you're selling chairs or hamburgers or whatever, like start accepting crypto for them, start integrating it. Because fact is, like I said at the beginning, um, this probably, well, in my mind, this will not go away. So it'll just become more and more. And so, like, if you're in early, um, you'll just benefit earlier from it. And then you won't be dealing with trying to integrate it and figure it out when it's already gone like mainstream and you're kind of like not left behind, but kind of
Mm-hmm.
following the pack, or, you know, you're chasing it that time rather than being proactive about it, right? So yeah, like the fact is, like if you're a charity accepting crypto, that's going to provide that whole value flow as an option for you. Whereas before, like if you're not doing that, well, you're excluding that whole token economy, which I believe is the new, will replace the traditional economy. So you,
Hmm.
like as a charity, you're going to want to be there. You're going to want to be in a position where you're already set up, ready to function in that new system, as opposed to just trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we're on the cusp of kind of mass adoption. I think if you look at a lot of the top tier crypto networks, you could already say we're at mass adoption. Many people are using Bitcoin, many people are using Ethereum. Big companies are building on some of these blockchains. But if you look around in, day-to-day life, like if you go to a mom and pop
Hmm.
restaurant, it's not there yet. Like they're not accepting crypto generally. That some of them don't even know what it is.
Hmm.
And a lot of companies are still using, traditional centralized databases and stuff that maybe there is more benefit or cheaper cost to doing those things on chain.
Right.
With GiveSafely, you have a lot of the aspects on the blockchain for good reason, right? Yeah, so my advice would be to definitely explore it and try to integrate it in manners that make sense, but also in manners that are proper and appropriate and done right.
Mm-hmm. Paul, I think that sums it up nicely. Thank you so much for sharing kind of your insight and knowledge today. It's been really great having you and having this conversation. So, kind of moving forward, how can our listeners connect with you and Bitswift if they want to kind of check out more of your work or be in touch with you?
Yeah, best way, honestly, I'm on Twitter a lot. So we have a few Twitter channels there, but you can follow our tech company. You can always DM me there if you want. It's just at Bitswift_tech. So BITSWIFT_tech. And yeah, that'd be the best way if you're just kind of community out there, just to kind of like figure out, what we're into, what we're
Mm-hmm.
posting, stuff like that. You can engage with us there as well. Feel free to repost. They don't call it tweeting anymore, so you got to repost it or like it or whatever. But we're also on Discord. We're also on Telegram.
Mm-hmm.
We're also in Slack. We also have like a support help desk. you know, so you'll find, I'm sure you're going through our Twitter, all of these other channels. Yeah, everybody's welcome. Anybody can use our chain. There's nobody saying you can't. You know, there's a tech company here set up to help you integrate to it if you want it. If you want help, there's nobody saying you need to utilize our tech company whatsoever. I mean,
it's a public blockchain.
Anybody could. It's public, right? Yeah. And not even our tech company could take out the data that people may publish in there, you know. So the giving points that GiveSafely is using, we can't, as a tech company, go in there and modify them or change any of the values. So that's like the whole point of it, right? Yeah. So feel free, community, to reach out and just start using our chain, build apps. You know,
Awesome.
You don't need permission. You don't need permissions. We're just here to help. We're here to offer support. Mainly, we're here to provide support and integration and education as well. You know, that's kind of what we do. We're a tech company. We support tech products. We integrate people into tech products, and we educate them on tech products in manners which hopefully benefit them. And that's really our purpose and our goal, and that extends out to blockchain tech.
And we've certainly appreciated your help here at GiveSafely too. So we'll make sure to include your handles in the show notes as well, so people get in touch with you. But thank you so much, Paul. Looking forward to our next conversation. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man. Had a great time. Thank you very much. Peace out.